Hey there, how's it going? What's up, everybody? Irish Orangutan is back to pass along what you need to know to get better at Madden and grow your MUT team. Enjoy the show. This Saturday morning, I want to bring you a quick video about the legends that came out today. We have kind of some different twist on what we usually have. Usually it is just straight up legends that come out, and there's a couple solos. Now that it's Super Bowl weekend, things have changed up a little bit. I'm going to show you a couple players first that came out a couple of days ago that you might want to look at investing in if you're looking at that 99 overall team, because they'll definitely be able to come up to where you need to get them. The first man we're going to be looking at is Ndamukong Suh. Um, if you just want to go out and get this player, you don't necessarily need to do the power up, but he does have the opportunity to get those extra chemistries because he is one of those players that was a team diamond. So if you want to go out and get those, bolster up his power move and his block shedding, get one to 99 and the other very, very close, you can definitely do so. I have invested in him. I am going to wait a little bit because definitely not worth a million to me, but to some players he definitely might be. I'll probably just use training since he was a limited time player here coming up in a little bit. This is definitely a player you need to go out and get if you are having some issues up the middle. He's definitely one of those cloggers, and if you add a little something something to him, his speed can definitely get where you need to as well. Otherwise, he can just shut everything down in the middle and get to those slower quarterbacks. The next player we have is the Super Bowl present player Rob Gronkowski. He came out a couple of days ago. Him and Ndamukong Suh are now out of packs, but they are top of the line players that'll help get you to that 99 overall team. They he is another player that is a power up. Those limited times almost always have the power ups before, and if they don't, they do after. He has pretty decent speed. His run blocking is upper echelon as well. He compares really favorably with Hunter Henry and just is a little bit better in a few categories. Run blocking not quite as good as Henry and not quite as fast. Um, Gronkowski is now one of those older players that doesn't necessarily depend on his speed, so that might not necessarily cross over to Madden as well as it should, but he is definitely a player if you're a Pats fan you need to go out and get, and he will help you get to that 99 overall almost immediately. He is the best statted tight end in the game right now. There are some other players like Kittle and Henry that I would argue might be even a little bit better than him, even though they have a lower rating, but to each their own. Henry's too lower before the power up, as is Kittle, so just keep that in mind. Just depending on what you're worrying on, if you want your team 99 all, if you want your team to be the best, go out and pick the player you need depending on what you want. Next, we have Jack Tatum, who is a player that you can get out of packs today. He has some pretty nice speed. His coverage stats aren't quite upper echelon, but his attacking the running back and schmucking the wide receiver coming over the middle is definitely top notch. He compares really well with Sean Taylor. He is just a little bit of an upgrade to Sean Taylor, to be perfectly honest. He's better in every category. Unless you have like a Redskins chem or something like that, that might be able to get a little bit closer. But Tatum is definitely free safety that plays like a strong safety. So if that's what you need out of your safeties, you definitely need to go out and get him. He doesn't quite have the man coverage to be upper echelon if you play a lot more of that. If you play a zone scheme, he's shorter, but he'll play a lot like a Cam Chancellor, but in a smaller body. So I do want to check on his jumping to see if he can maybe go out and get a couple of jump balls. This isn't the first one. It is not. 91. So, yeah, jump balls is definitely something you might need to worry about. With Sean Taylor, he's 4 inches taller and can jump more, so he's better in the passing game. But if you need that, he's Tyrod Matthew who can hit a little bit harder, just showing you a little bit of comparisons if you're more used to those players, but definitely things you need to consider. And the last player we're going to be looking at this morning is Keyshawn Johnson. He comes in with a very large frame. He's a little bit better over the middle wide receiver than a Randy Moss would be. He can go out and get that jump ball as well. So if those are kind of the things you're looking for, he'd be pretty spectacular at that. Might have a little bit better chance of coming down with it than Randy if he's getting hit, but Randy will be able to get up a little bit higher with that jumping, as you can see. Need to go out. His 73 strength is very solid. Run blocking of 63 is okay. It's actually lower than I would expect. Impact blocking was pretty low as well, and lead blocking was low. So definitely not the run blocker that I thought Keyshawn would definitely be. So that is a little bit troublesome, but he can go out and do a lot of the things you need to do in the passing game, just not quite as strong in the run game as he probably would have been earlier on in his career. So just some things to consider. And if he's not the player that you want, he'll be selling for $1 million for quite a while, and he'll definitely have that bottom cap of 500,000. So always keep that in mind while you're pulling things today. There will be more packs coming out a little bit later on today. I'll go into another screen and discuss that with you here in just 1 second. As you can see here, it is about noon Eastern, and there's 3 hours until these power-up passes, and this, which already expired within the first few minutes, will reset and another set of cards will come onto the market. So that is something to consider. These really do have good value. If you're wanting to go out and get a 90 or 91 now that you're wanting to power up pass, this is probably the place that you want to look at. I was looking at that for David Bakhtiari, but he really doesn't have the run blocking that I want on my team, so it's not really going to fit for him. I am really excited to have been able to bolster my team through a couple of these packs, and through the Super Bowl rings. I was able to invest considerably last night with some of those when they were a little bit cheaper. Something to always look at, like with these 95 overalls, there's only 1,000 of them. But last night there were 10,000 Fire Fantasy packs. They cost money, so I did not participate in that portion of it. I did go out and get a couple of the fantasy packs that just cost Super Bowl rings. I did okay with those. One was really, really bad, and the other was more break even for both of them. Or it doubled my money for one of them, so it more or less broke even for both of them. Excuse me. So they work out. The first one for the platinum packs, that was where I made most of my money. I'm up considerably there. I do have a lot invested in Super Bowl rings. I had climbed up to 4 and then 5 and at 1.6 million. I did upgrade my offensive line and invest heavily in Super Bowl rings. They did not quite go up in price the way that I thought they would, mainly because these had a personal limit of 1 and were gone in about 5 minutes. So there were a lot of people who didn't necessarily need the Super Bowl rings this morning. So hoping for a little bit of an uptick later on in the day, as those offers get a little bit better and a little bit more worthwhile for those. So yeah, another fantasy pack comes out that you can buy with Super Bowl rings. They'll definitely be worth it. So just keep that in mind. And also the 86s at this point, if you keep them now, they're the cheapest 86s on the market. So as they turn back into what would be training, after the promo is over, they'll be worthwhile. So that might be something you want to look into investing in as well. But yeah, excited about this Blitz weekend. Excited to bring out a couple of the limited time players that have came out. This has been kind of an up and down morning. The recording didn't work very well earlier. I was getting into some MUT squads and checked out the duos and then froze up. So it's not worth the 10 coins. Don't collect your rewards unless you want to reset. With the way Xbox has been working lately, you might not be able to sign back in, so just be mindful of that. But very excited that you were able to stop in this morning. Let me know if you're going to try to go out and get any of those limited time players, or if you've been making any investments with these Super Bowl rings and what's been working, so we can share that with everybody. And make sure you say something else in the comments below. If there's anything else in the Blitz promo that you wish was there, let me know down below as well. Take care, everybody. One more thing, I was checking out my team, and sadly, I was not actually on when I did notice this. But when I moved this Brandin Cooks, I said I was getting close to 97. I didn't realize it was quite that close because I hadn't quite typed it in. But we have gotten to the 97 overall without spending any money on the game. I am very excited that my offenses became a little bit more dynamic with another 99 speed wide receiver. Just kind of rolling in chemistries and everything else like that right now. But make sure you get into this Blitz promo and make a whole bunch of coins. I have about 130 cards right now from this promo that I'm kind of selling off and making a little bit of profit on. So just make sure you invest wisely. I'm excited to see what the coin stack is at the end of this promo. Being 97 right now, I'm fairly comfortable with that. Going to be making a couple of upgrades at some point, but probably won't be coming anytime in the near future. We'll be talking through all the upgrades next Friday in my 99 overall kind of path video, and what I have done and what I'm going to be doing to get there. So make sure you tune into that. And yeah, just excited to share this team with you. They're getting a little bit better every day, as I hope your team is as well. Take care. Thanks for checking into the Irish Orangutan channel. Keep coming back to keep getting better at Madden and growing your MUT team. There will be at least 5 videos up a week, so make sure to like and comment on each of those. Be sure to subscribe to see them all. Come by Twitch to engage or hit me up on Twitter. Take care, everybody. Much love.